Hello everyone, welcome to Game 2 of the round of 16 bout between the pink Zerg player Sander and the red random Protoss, again, Bane. This time we are going to be featuring Blistering Sands, and if you don't know every inch of this map by now, maybe I'll point out to something that we haven't really seen too much of, right here. That's something we haven't seen too much of in all the Blistering Sands games we've went through. And I don't mean to sound sarcastic. The different ways people abuse different things in Blistering Sands is great to watch, but when you have to do it about 30 times, it's like a little much, I'd say. So Bane making a pylon at the ramp, not too bad an idea. Again, preventing Ling run-bys that hurt him so badly in the last game. As he did have most of his forces destroying the main of Sander. But we do see Sander doing the double extractor trick yet again, and we do have a rally point of all the way across the map for his overlord. A drone now moving out across the map as well. And the gateway going down, we see a similar type of wall off. This one might need 2 zealots to be tight, but that's okay. The probe getting to his opponent's base, seeing that he is making a ton of drones as we switch to the production tab. Sander, of course, doing a very sneaky expansion in the last game, preserving his life, but unfortunately not leading to victory, as he wasn't adequately able to produce enough in his main to ward off Bane, who, again, random Protoss this game. So maybe we'll see a different playstyle, but right now we're seeing the similar type. Double gate, probably into cyber, with some sort of... It looks like we are seeing a gas steal. And Sander making a face of some sort. Maybe that's a happy face. I am not sure. But we do see one gas steal. If he had another drone here, that would be cool, but he doesn't, and Bane decides to take the other gas. I'm sure once he gets his zealot out, he'll most likely deal with the extractor that has morphed. But Sander going to be morphing getting his own spawning pool and not allowing his opponent to do double gas steal, as Sander has taken the gas of his own. This might force Bane into something else. We did see a great zealot contain. Now we do see the cyber core coming down. Is that in the sight range? No, it's not. So it's a good guess by Sander, but he doesn't know for a fact that his opponent has cyber on the way. But we do have that first zealot coming out to deal with said extractor, and we do have a ton of pylons being morphed in for Bane, or warped in for Bane, rather. Now the probe beating it as a spine crawler and a roach warren go down. So Sander probably going to commit to a pretty hard roach push, at least in the beginning of the game. 2 Zerglings on the way, no speed, does have the amount of gas he needs for either that. Oh, quick lair. From his main, 1 base play, so this extractor is down, and immediately Bane gets his second gas, so this zealot probably got to move back just to be safe, but this probe going all the way back, and all the way back around, it seems, as 2 Zerglings guard the ramp for Sander. We do have 2 more zealots, chrono boosting gateway, second gas is done, and the pylon keeping vigil over the rocks in the back. But the probe looks like he's not going to be making his rounds all the way to where I thought he was. It looks like he's checking every other expansion, making sure that his opponent doesn't take a sneaky expansion. It looks like he is going to do anyway. As his probe moves out, we'll see, yes indeed, he's taking that expansion. So it looks like, unfortunately, the probe has stopped moving around the map, and pylon going down, as well as a robo facility off of 2 gate, similar playstyle that we saw in the first game, could take his expansion, as his opponent hasn't really done much. We do have the probe moving out, checking the expansion, 4 lings on the way, as well as no roaches. The roach warren being fallow, and only off of 1 gas. We'll see what he does with the lair, as it has now popped out, and we do have a couple of zealots holding position like any smart zealot would. Warp gates now in play for Bane. We do have a Twilight Council. We might see more charge, as he does seem to like a heavy zealot composition against Zerg. But 2 stalkers come in, the ranged component of the early gateway arsenal for the Protoss. And Sander now building a Spire. Still low, fairly low on gas. Only has 2 on this extractor and 2 on this extractor as well. Needs to pump 3 in there to be, properly saturated. But his expansion is nearly complete, and the Zergling's not scouting his opponent's expansion, so he feels probably pretty safe. Now Bane, even though he's triple protected his unit producing structures, he needs his tech structures as well. He's getting charged, and that is good. Unfortunately, a little bit of rock damage, but don't want to lose use of the Robo Bay, which actually hasn't been producing much of anything at all. We don't even see an observer. Excuse me. We do see an observer on the field, and it's actually in his base. So he sees all there is, and I'm not sure that he knows about his opponent's expansion, because I suspect... No, he doesn't. I'd suspect that there would be offensive action being levied against it if he did. But now, it looks like Sander going to be moving in close with an Overlord. I think that might have been the one at the beginning of the game that was rallied, and just now getting over there. Who knows? But we do see that a Forge and now a Stargate, so maybe Phoenixes to deal with the Mutas, and the Forge to just ward off any harass. But he has way too many probes for just one base. That is 32. That is way too much. You need 24, so 8 of them can go to the expansion that you need to build there, Bane. And look at this, Sander being smart, mining all the expansions with a Zergling. Not mining, as in getting expansions, because he could stand to do that right here. But he does see the Mutas, and that might have been the response to that Stargate as well as Forge. But we do have a couple cannons being warped in. Still off of only 2 gateways, and has a buttload of probes on the mineral line. We do see, though, Sander seemingly slowly droning up at his expansion. Does have a fair amount, and now, unfortunately, Bane's observer has been ousted and will go not down. Alright. It has, in fact, escaped the clutches of the Queen and her claws, but for how long, time will tell. But for now, 1 Phoenix is out. A second one on the way. Could be chrono boosted, as Bane is in full chrono boost mode. And this BM Overlord creeping up Bane's natural. It looks like, wow, you see those Zealots just charge in, and now it's it. He knows his opponent has an expansion, and look at all these Zerglings, Speedlings, working on the back door, coming down the front door, will die, unfortunately, and maybe rally point death, I'm not sure. Has he changed his rally point? Yes, he has. But now, Mutas move in, Mutas move out, and the Phoenix will go past the ground forces, and looks like, wow, a lot of free shots. Got to group up those Phoenix. And moving shot is so fun to deal with. All the Zerglings go down. Destructible rocks still not destructed. And, oh my goodness, unfortunately, these Phoenix, one already has 2 kills. Oh, that is so obnoxious. Now his opponent is supply blocked. And, no, he's not. Just barely under. Or barely not supply blocked. But, needs more Phoenix to be more viable. I'm not sure where the Phoenix is going. Looks like he's going to be maybe following that. The expansion has been sacked, and now more Zerglings working on the back door. Could just simply go up the front. And I think Bane realizes that he's going to be holding position maybe in a little bit better of a position right there. There we go. And holding position. His forces move back. Unfortunately, he 1-8 his way out of that. And more Overlords for the Phoenix to snipe. Looks like they are en route to deal with these Zerglings, or keep tabs on them, as they still have Mutalisk taking down the pylon. Could do a lot of damage to the rocks. Now finally Bane grabbing his expansion as the Zerglings make their rounds around the map. We do have more Zerglings and Mutas in production for Sander, but we don't see him take any action to get an expansion back up and running, as he does need more gas to continue Mutalisk production. Now we do have the Phoenix out on the field. No more, but we do have a ton, or we have 3 on the field. and a ton of gateways. I don't know if it's time for it, Bane, but ooh, beautifully done. Phoenix surprising the heck out of those mutas, absolutely destroying them, and now he's set up shop against these fledgling units. Now, great surround. It looks like, I'm not sure what the deal was there. Sander giving up a lot of free hits on the Zerglings. Now in the hole, and we do have a second Roach Warren being produced. Oops. Maybe that was a misclick. You can do it on occasion. But now the Phoenix being absolutely evil, continuing to supply block his opponent, now working on the Queen, the only anti-air that Sander has at the moment, and the guys move in, and that might be that. I mean, he was down to 25 supply and dropping, and Sander calls it. Game 2, as well as Game 1, being dead set for Bane as he moves on to the round of 8. Sander, of course, being knocked out, but not before making his second Roach Warren. Unfortunately for him, he might have canceled, I'm not sure. And that happens to everybody. They get rattled and things happen. I've made 2 spawning pools before, and that was very sad. But that is that, and we are on to the round of 8, which will be uploaded shortly. So, yeah. Until, oh my goodness, Bane, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8 structures, 6 unit producing structures off of 1 pylon. That is no. All right, I'm out.